Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of Baseball Talk. Yes, we're almost a month into the season, and there's a whole lot to talk about. But just for today, I want to talk about one thing in particular. I'm not going to keep this extremely long, uh, but there's something that I want to know. And, you know, we're going to get to that in a few minutes, but we're going to talk about the man of the hour, really the man of the past 8 years, 9 years in baseball, the best player in baseball, the best hitter in baseball, Mike Trout. Mike Trout is having another Mike Trout season. Not only is he having another Mike Trout season, he is having an incredible April, his best April ever. Shout out to Mike Petrillo. I forget how to say his name exactly. Works for ESPN, writes for MLB.com. Shout out to him. Came across a Trout article today, him talking about Trout. Obviously, people are talking about Trout and how good of a month he's having, but his article is basically about he's having his best month ever. Now, he's had stretches like this before, but this is his best April ever. Best April ever for the best player in the game. Maybe the best player. Are we watching the best player of all time? I'm just getting right to it. Are we watching the best player of all time? That's what I want to know from you guys. Because I'm not sure. I mean, look, time will tell. But are we in the midst of watching the best baseball player of all time? Let's look at Mike Trout's stats for this month. Through 20 games played, he did deal with an injury that kept him out for a few games, but through 20 games played for him, 420 average, 524 on base, 783 slugging, and a 1.306 OPS. That's on base plus slugging. It's insane. Trout is unfortunately the game's not as popular as it used to be, and if it was, maybe more people would know Mike Trout, but that's not even why I'm making this video. Now they can market Mike Trout more. Now, maybe part of that could be that he doesn't play too much in the postseason. He's only played in one series in his career, and that was earlier in his career. I mean, ever since this guy came in, I mean, he had one of the best seasons we've ever seen by a baseball player in the last 10 to 20 years. His rookie season, his rookie campaign, he had a WAR of a 10.5. Probably should have been MVP, but Triple Crown, I guess. Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown that year, so he won MVP. But looking back on it, Mike Trout probably should have won the MVP. Not probably, he should have. He was a better player that season. But we're not even talking about that. Let's talk about Mike Trout's month. I just gave you his stats right there. 489 on fastballs this year. 489. And part of that's probably because he's swinging earlier than he ever has in his career. Usually in the past, he's been a patient hitter, but this year he's swinging away on, first pitch he's seeing, first one or two pitches he's seeing. Usually he's a patient hitter, and that's how he's become so good. But it seems like he's kind of taking a different approach this year, and he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He has 6 home runs already. Look, the batting average on base, it's better than ever. But Trout has been absolutely it's insane, man. It's insane. And I just, you look at this stuff and it's like, well, you figure, Trout's approaching 30. He's probably going to start slowing down at some point. But I mean, he's just getting better. He's just getting better. And, his 426 average is his best ever. His OPS and his WOBA are each of his best ever so far too. And, you figure at some point, maybe, pitchers at some point could maybe try to pitch him a little differently, but it's just not working. It's not working at all. Mike Trout is Mike Trout. He does it with the bat. He does it with the arm. Now his defensive ability hasn't been, great in the past, pretty much since he's been in the league, except for maybe a few years here and there. But I mean, and it seems like his fielding's even gotten better this year too. So, Trout's just a hard worker. He's definitely already a Hall of Famer. We know that. Like at this point, his numbers, he already has a 75.8 WAR, cumulative WAR. If you look at Baseball Reference, it already has a 75.8 WAR, and that's he's already a Hall of Famer. He might even be already one of the greatest of all time. But I mean, are we watching the greatest baseball player ever? I mean, for me, look, juice aside, that's a whole conversation. But Barry Bonds is the best player I ever saw. Griffey, one of the best players I ever saw. Now growing up as a kid and doing my research on baseball and hearing stories, and looking at numbers. Now, Willie Mays is definitely up there. Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, all up there. Um, but is Trout on track to be maybe the best player ever? I mean, he puts the power numbers up every year. He's a good base runner. He still has speed, hits for average, gets on base, like he does everything. Now his fielding could be a little bit better, and it's like I said, it seems like he's working on that this year, and he's really taking that to heart, which you love to see. But I mean, Trout is just on fire to open the season. Him and Otani's another one. Like I said, I've said this before, Otani's like the X factor for the Angels. Um, if they want to have a shot at the postseason, he needs to stay healthy and he needs to do what he's doing uh, right now for Anaheim, which is, hitting bombs, getting on base, and getting some starts here and there. And he's a good pitcher too. There's 100 and he comes back and throws a disgusting splitter. His stuff is nasty, but hopefully maybe we can see Mike Trout get into the postseason this year. Because that would be great for baseball and that'd be great for baseball fans, in general. So, but Trout's having an incredible month, incredible April. He's had stretches like this before. But he's never had an April like this to open the season. He's had great Aprils, but never like this. And did we really think we'd be saying this when he's going into his age 30 season? Or excuse me, he's 29, but he's gonna be, he'll be 30 pretty soon. So by the end of the season. But it's incredible to see, man, as a baseball fan, it's awesome. He's always, top 3% of the league in pretty much every category when it comes to hitting. And it's no shortage this year. And it's just really awesome to see, man. But I want to know from you guys, are we watching the greatest baseball player of all time right now that plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? Is it Mike Trout? Am I crazy? Are people crazy for saying that? Are you saying, hey, we gotta wait for him to finish out his career? Do you disagree? Is he still not a Hall of Famer yet in your eyes, or is he definitely a Hall of Famer no matter what, even if he retired right now or right after the season? I want to know. Let me know in the YouTube comments. Let me know on Twitter at Rojas_media_. Let me know on Instagram at Rojas_media on there too. Go DM me, send me a message. But definitely would be appreciated in the YouTube comments. Give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know. Are we watching the greatest baseball player ever?